I know what you're thinking. One of the strongest and most bloodthirsty characters in the universe, and he still finds the time to braid his hair before battle? Sometimes enemy, sometimes ally, Battle Beast's goal has always remained the same. With an unbelievable desire to fight and conquer, Thokk is one of the coolest and deadliest characters in the Invincible series.
Who's next?
Hello, boy.
In today's video, we will be exploring the origin and history of the legendary Battle Beast. Whose side is he on, and has he achieved the honorable death he so greatly craves? Let's find out right now. Thokk, also known as Battle Beast, is one of the strongest characters in the Invincible universe. Resembling a large lion, he is enabled with several evolutionary advantages that are especially useful in the field of combat. His senses of smell, sight, and hearing far outmatch all humans and even most Viltrumites. He is equipped with razor-sharp fangs and an incredible bite that can pierce even the skin of a Viltrumite, a task not so easily achieved. Along with a mastery of hand-to-hand combat, superhuman strength, speed, and endurance, he is also especially proficient in using weaponry such as swords, axes, and maces. Just ask Invincible's chest. So, what causes a being like this to be such a great fighter? Well, nowhere better to start than the beginning. Unfortunately, Battle Beast's past is for the most part unknown. The only hint we really get at it comes in Invincible number 67, when Alan the Alien and Nolan Grayson travel to Thokk's home world looking for him. There we learn that Battle Beast was significantly powerful among his race. So much so, that he even grew to be his world's protector. A member of Battle Beast's species calls him their favorite son, and describes the world that was built under the protection of Thokk as a utopia. He then goes on to share what drove Thokk away. After many years of service to his planet, he became an unstoppable killing machine who grew addicted to the conflict that his role brought. Because of this, he would leave his homeworld in search of a challenger worthy enough to fight him. He passed into legend, only being remembered by the older members of his old society and passed down in stories to the young. He is believed by his homeworld to be invulnerable and immortal. All we know about it is that whether they believe in Battle Beast or not, his home planet prays for his return. Thokk eventually traveled to Earth upon leaving his home world. His goal would be the driving focus for everything he did for the remainder of his life. This is how he comes to be in the employment of Machine Head. Machine Head was a mob boss on Earth, with enough money to hire several superpowered bodyguards. It was not his money, however, that Thokk sought. It was the promise from Machine Head of a worthy challenger. The closest he would come to such a foe would be in the form of Mark Grayson, Titan, and the new Guardians of the Globe. The only depiction of Battle Beast in the Amazon series shows his confrontation with these heroes. However, it was clear that all of these superpowered beings were no match for Battle Beast. He takes care of Invincible and Titan with ease, burying his mace into Invincible's chest. When the new Guardians of the Globe arrive to save him, Battle Beast is able to completely dismantle the team. He even mortally wounds Black, Samson, and Bulletproof, who was replaced with Monster Girl in the show, to the point where they can no longer continue fighting and nearly die of their wounds. Thokk immediately ends the fight by leaving. He deems that these opponents were not worthy enough even for his time, and that killing them would bring him no joy or resolution. So, he leaves the fight and ultimately decides to leave Earth.
There is no honor in killing insects.
Some time after his departure, Battle Beast found himself imprisoned by the same race that was holding Nolan Grayson prisoner for crimes against the Viltrumite Empire. During this time, Alan the Alien had become one of the strongest characters in the Invincible universe. Under orders from the Coalition of Planets and its leader Thetis, Alan began a quest to retrieve Nolan, also known as Omni-Man, Invincible's father. Alan allowed himself to be taken prisoner in order to be put in this facility. After the two formed a strong bond and friendship through a telepathic link, they mounted an escape. That's where Battle Beast comes in. After all, if one is mounting a prison break, the more muscle the merrier. Alan would free all the prisoners, and after scanning them to see if any of them could provide aid, Battle Beast appeared. True to character, Battle Beast promised to help Alan so long as their goals overlapped. With the promise of finding worthy adversaries, Battle Beast helped Alan find and free Omni-Man. Interrupting his execution, Battle Beast demanded the Viltrumites fight him. A fight that was, well, short. Alan broke the fight into space, where after Thokk dismembered the Viltrumites and separated from Alan and Nolan, he would become frozen in the vacuum of space. The Coalition of Planets would find his frozen body still alive. Battle Beast was recruited to the Coalition and would go on to occupy planets for them during the Viltrumite War. He made sure to always be clear that he worked for no one and took commands from no one. However, Thokk, as always, goes to where he can find conflict. Battle Beast joined a small squadron led by Thetis, the leader of the Coalition, to end the war. Along with Omni-Man, Alan, Invincible, Kid Omni-Man, Space Racer, and a few others, Battle Beast headed for Viltrum. Before arriving, the group was attacked by a Viltrumite named Thula. You see, Battle Beast has a habit of ruining grand entrances that characters attempt to make. He killed Thula while Invincible, Alan, and Omni-Man watched impressed. He destroyed her with ease and even used her body to fight off several other Viltrumites who arrived in space, led by Thragg. Omni-Man, Invincible, and Thetis together then destroyed the planet Viltrum, thus ending the war, but beginning the desire for revenge in Thragg, the strongest creature in the universe. His first act was to decapitate Thetis and nearly kill Kid Omni-Man. True to form, after awakening from the blast of a planet being destroyed, Battle Beast continued to fight even though the war was over. He then had his first encounter with the man who would one day become his greatest adversary. He flew towards Thragg, exclaiming in excitement that he had found a worthy challenger. To his surprise, Thragg swatted Battle Beast away like a fly, calling him at best a nuisance. This would light a fire in Battle Beast, a fire that could only be put out one way. Even the Battle Beast needs time to lick his wounds. After taking some time to recover from injuries he had received in the war, we catch up with Thokk on an unnamed planet. This planet was inhabited by creatures resembling some sort of humanoid sharks. Natives of the planet held an oppressive regime that Thokk, playing a sort of hero role, would overthrow. While trying to promise to turn over a new leaf, Battle Beast destroyed the dictator and a handful of his followers. It was after his victory that Space Racer would come to the planet at the representation of Alan, now leader of the Coalition of Planets. Upon request, Thokk agreed to return to Telescria. Before leaving, a woman of the planet named Thresha begged for Thokk to take her as his mate. He agreed and returned to the Coalition with her. He waited there with his new love for his next assignment. The day finally came when Space Racer would call Thokk with the news he had waited for so long, Thragg's location. Battle Beast's final mission would be to kill the strongest villain in the universe. He races to Thraxa with sword and hammer in hand, eager to face his foe. Upon arriving, Thragg mocked the Coalition for sending someone he had so easily defeated in the past. I know Thragg's pretty strong and all, but mocking someone named Battle Beast doesn't seem like the smartest strategy to me. Before the two could engage in combat, however, Thresha sent down creatures called Ragnars, mindless animalistic creatures strong enough to kill Viltrumites. These creatures were meant to be a failsafe in case Thokk was unsuccessful in defeating Thragg. Angry at what he considered to be a betrayal, Battle Beast helped Thragg defeat the Ragnars. Somewhat confused, Thragg believed Thokk to be playing some sort of game. But Thokk's rebuttal is that finding his greatest adversary is his life's purpose. Thragg was severely injured by the Ragnars and therefore does not believe their contest would be a fair fight. Ever the sportsman, Battle Beast would take his own sword and cut open his own midsection to even the playing field. The battle lasted for days, with two of arguably the strongest characters in the universe trading blows that would kill anyone else. The battle was so long, in fact, that it lasted several issues of the comics. The next issue would focus on a story elsewhere with panels cutting back to Thragg and Battle Beast to remind us that they were still fighting. In the end, Thragg would give Battle Beast the thing he had truly yearned for, an honorable death. Thragg crushed Battle Beast's heart in his hand, and with his dying breath, Thokk thanked his greatest adversary for truly fulfilling his life's purpose. Thragg would skin Thokk and go on to wear his pelt as a trophy and a reminder of perhaps the greatest duel in history. He was a fierce warrior and a truly dedicated character. Battle Beast is one of the reasons why the Invincible comics are so awesome, and here's to hoping we see him in future seasons. Just promise him a good fight and I'm sure he'll come back.